Hey guys, well if you're anything like me, you've been fantasizing about the Subaru P1 for the last 21 years. Made in super limited numbers of 1,000 out of the UK. Well guess what? I just caught up with Grahame. He's the owner of an absolutely sensational Subaru P1. He's based right here in Queensland, Australia. Let's go check it out.
I work for the Queensland Children's Hospital in their finance team. Well, I'm quite fortunate to have the Focus RS as my daily, which is a pretty nice car to drive. For me, it all came down to Colin McRae and that generation of rally cars at the time. I was very fortunate to be in the UK, and there was a big sort of rally scene there and lots of Subarus around, and actually used to drive past the rally factory where they used to prepare the Subarus of the time. So when the Subaru P1 came out as a rally car to honour the heritage of Colin McRae and what he did, then yeah, that was kind of when I really fell in love with the Subaru brand when that came on the scene. This is actually my first Subaru in my entire life. Yeah, I've never, it was always, I suppose the pin-up car of my generation was the two-door Subaru. Yeah, so really, yeah, never actually driven the Subaru until actually when I got to sit in this for the first time. So yeah, never driven a Subaru in my entire life. I had a chance to go out on a rally stage, but it was in a Mark II Escort or a Mark I Escort, I think it was. So yeah, no, never. I think I'd sat in one as a passenger, but never actually driven one, no. It was like, it's just the noise of it, the visceral, certainly in that one with the exhaust that's on it. It's definitely an experience to drive. And I've had a few fast cars over the years, but yeah, just the noise and the sound and the feel of that is just like driving a go-kart at the end of the day. The background of the car, of me getting the car, was that I was actually looking to buy one. I wasn't actually going to press a button and actually do it, but I came across a website in the UK that was selling this particular car through their online site. And when I saw the provenance of the vehicle, when it was the Express car and it's car number 7, that was when, for me, that was it. It went from just researching about maybe buying one to the actual, this is probably the one. And therefore, that's when I started on the process of working out how to import it to Australia. So the background to it, like I said, is that there was the Colin McRae generation with the rally cars and that scene. So ProDrive, who manufactured the rally cars, tried to beat the grey market in regards to the P1, in regards to the two-door Subarus, and said, well, instead of people bringing in grey imports, why don't we bring in 1,000 to the UK, do a few things to them and sell them through the Subaru UK dealers. So that's sort of how they came about in the UK to beat that sort of grey import scene. And like I say, there's only 1,000 of them ever made. Probably most of them are probably rusted to pieces now. So there's a lot fewer than 1,000 now out on the roads. So yeah, so it makes them very sort of rare. Going out to car meets and the sort of Subaru meets there, it's just the sort of the attention the car gets is pretty amazing. It's I knew how rare they were to start with, and I always wanted to get one here, but it's only when you go to those meets you realise the appreciation there is for this particular vehicle. So no, I love it. I love that people appreciate it, and I'm glad I sort of took the jump to get it here, because there were some moments in the import process where I didn't think it was going to happen. There were a few instances where I hadn't quite got the paperwork in place, and there was a few times where I thought it wasn't going to happen, but no, now it's here and looking as good as it does now after the work I've sort of done over the last year. Yeah, it's kindly at that point now where it's pretty much the finished article, and I can now just enjoy it and let others enjoy it at the same time. Like I say, I like Subarus, their shape, especially that GC8 shape, but the two-door is just the like I say, from that rally scene, that's the car that Colin McRae should have won the championship. He didn't quite win it in a two-door, but yeah, that was the shape that I sort of went out onto rally stages and watched it. I had an opportunity to see Colin McRae at Silverstone on the rally stage in the two-door, but yeah, that was what sold it to me. That was, like I say, a car you could go out and buy, like a Mitsubishi Evo 6 at the time with Tommy Mackinnon, or you either loved the Subaru like this one, and for me it was always the Subaru P1 was the one I really wanted. This thing will never leave my possession, I think is the plan. No, it's like I say, it's been my ultimate car to own. Like I say, there's plenty of cars out there I could lovely own, like Porsches and things like that, but no, this is the one that I've always wanted, so this one will always be in my possession as long as I can, and yeah, no plans to part with her anytime soon. So this is the front of a BT62 Brabham Formula 1 car. So yeah, so it's been, so Nelson Piquet would have been used the car at the time. So this is 1982, this is from. But the story of how I got hold of it was actually my father in the UK or was a photographer at the time, and was asked to do some press shots for a local, or an Australian hot shoe, a bit like a Danny Ricciardo or a sort of Mark Webber at the time. I went to the UK to make it big, or try and make it big. And unfortunately it didn't work out for him, but he had this in his possession and he didn't want to lug it all the way back to Australia in his suitcase. So he sort of said to my dad, "Oh, Dad, do you want to have it?" So yeah, that was probably the start point to my passion for motorsport. So we got invited to go to Silverstone in 1985, which is when he raced there. And yeah, I think from that point onwards is when I sort of started my passion of motorsport. So I still have that, and I have the programme from the day, signed by Alexander Lubov, wherever that man may be, somewhere in Australia, who was the driver who gave it to us. But yeah, it's how it all began. So what I've got here is, so obviously being passionate about motorsport, then you start reading about it. So I started to read a particular magazine called Autosport. Back in 1993 was when I sort of probably started buying it, which is that version up here. But kind of went, like I say, I was so in deep at that point in time with my passion for motorsport, I thought, oh, maybe I'll just start getting some back issues over the time. So actually, through various eBay purchases and various bits and pieces, I managed to acquire all the Autosports for the entire 70 years. So these are the UK plates that would have been on their car originally, yep, in the UK. So, and this is where, if you were to look up this vehicle on YouTube, then if you look for any period stuff at the time, that would have been the license plates that were used, because it was the press car for Subaru. So there was two press cars. There was W872 and I think it was W874. And W874, which was number 8, was actually written off by one of the press at the time. I think it obviously was two-spirited drive and managed to ride it up. So this one was, yeah, thankfully didn't get too heavily ragged. but there's some interesting shots. Like I say, you can see this actually on, oh, there's smoke coming off the tyres. It's literally being absolutely hammered by these ex-Formula 1 drives. Yeah, Tiffany Dale. If you look up Tiffany Dale and Subaru P1, there's a big bit of footage of this where he's literally just smoking it down an airfield with all four wheels literally smoking. And there's one where there's a blooper trail of this where it's actually going backwards through a field where he got it wrong and he just, yeah, ploughed off the circuit. So he's had a hardish life, but that's fine. That's like I say, that's what these cars are designed for, to be driven hard. So yeah.
thanks to Grahame for letting us come out and film that car. And we hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. So if you're someone who also has an amazing car and you want to feature it on this channel, I've got an email address just right down in the description. Feel free to reach out to us and we can get talking about having your car featured on this very channel. Also, if you're just someone who simply likes these videos and wants to see more, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we really appreciate you taking the time. All right, thank you and take care. Bye for now.